pick a role model. Pick the person that you admire more than anybody else in the world in terms of their personality, and whenever you're in a situation with someone else, pretend you are like that person.
Act and talk like the person you want to be. That's the key to becoming the best version of yourself.
Get a clear mental picture and see your goal as already realized. See it as a reality and play that picture over and over again on the screen of your mind. Play that picture on the screen of your mind until you can see it with perfect clarity. Design it, draw it out, do whatever is necessary in order to create that mental picture, and then think about that mental picture. Think about your goal as a reality over and over again. Repeat it until you impress it deeper and deeper and deeper into your subconscious. Successful people, winners, are solution-oriented. They think about the solutions. They talk about the solutions. They're always asking this question. Here is the big question. What can we do from here? In other words, they are always future-oriented. Losers are always oriented toward the past. Losers always want to know who did it. Who's to blame? Who's responsible? How do we cut our losses? The winner always looks forward and says, where do we go from here? What do we do from here? What's the solution from here? How can we improve this situation? How can we adjust, adapt, modify, and so on? Whenever you have a difficulty, now is the time to make 80% of your decisions. Indecision, by the way, indecisiveness is a major reason for failure. Indecisive people don't succeed in life. Being decisive is more important than being correct, because the more decisions that you make, the more feedback you get, the smarter you become, the more accurate your decisions become. The fewer decisions you make, the less feedback you get, the less learning takes place, the poorer a decision maker you become. So make a decision. Remember, 80% should be made right now, and the others can be made simply by saying, all right, I can't make the decision now, I need more information. I'll set a deadline. Thursday at noon, I'll make the decision no matter what information I have. Once you've set a deadline, number 9 is take action. Launch. You know, an interesting time management study I read recently says that 20% of the work, the first 20% usually accounts for 80% of the value of the job. If you can launch it, they say well begun is half done.
You become what you think about most of the time. Emerson said that a person is what he thinks about all day long. The way you think determines the way you react and respond to things happening around you. The way you react and respond determines your emotions. Your emotions determine your actions. And your actions determine your results. Everything begins with your thinking. Successful high-performance people think about positive, constructive things most of the time. They think about what they want and how to get it most of the time. Especially, they maintain high levels of self-acceptance and self-esteem by thinking about their good points, by thinking about the positive qualities and characteristics that they have and that you have, and which they have developed over the course of their lifetimes. Unhappy, negative people think and talk about all the things that they've done wrong, the mistakes they've made, and the people that have hurt them in the past. Happy, confident people instead think about all the positive things they've done and achieved over their lifetimes, and they look forward to accomplishing even more in the future. Make a list of all your good qualities, of which there are many. For example, write down the fact that you are honest, you're intelligent, you're creative, you're hardworking, you're friendly, you're helpful, you're generous, you're sincere, you're persistent. Everyone has these qualities to some degree, and you have all of these qualities as well, more or less. Then, make a list of everything that you've accomplished over your lifetime, going back to childhood. When you start thinking about it, you will realize that you have accomplished hundreds of large and small goals over the years, starting from when you completed your first year of school or played your first sport. Since then, you've learned, worked, traveled, had relationships, achieved goals, won certain successes, and on and on. Accentuate the positive and ignore the negative. Think of your unique talents and abilities. Think of your core skills, the things that you do exceptionally well that account for most of your success in your profession and in your personal life right now. Think of what an exceptional person you really are, all things considered. When you do this exercise and create a personal inventory of all your best points, you accept yourself even more and you grow in self-confidence and self-esteem. Soon enough, you feel terrific about yourself and becoming even more dedicated to the realization of your full potential. Now, here's an exercise that you can do. Make a list of all your best qualities, the virtues, values, talents, and abilities that make you an extraordinary person, unique in all the world. From now on, think about the most positive aspects of yourself and your personality, and let the rest go.
Just be calm when things are going well. Be calm. Don't think you're on top of the world in a sense. You always got to be wary, because I've seen it. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. You got to be chill. You got to just take what's good in your life and move forward cautiously and carefully, and thank God that you have that. Just it's very, very important not to overextend yourself when you think you've got it. There's no such thing. Everybody's dispensable.
This is one of the most important things that I've ever found in my life. It's simply this. The key to getting rid of negative emotions, and this is the most important part of this, is the trunk. Is cutting down the trunk of the negative emotion tree. And the trunk of the negative emotion tree is blame. Blame is 99% of negative emotions. Now, it's very important to understand where negative emotions come from. Negative emotions come from inside you. Negative emotions are not contained in external situations. Negative emotions are not caused by other people or other situations. Negative emotions are caused by your response to other situations. Perfect example. Two people meet the same situation, a traffic jam, a rude waiter, whatever it happens to be, and one person gets all upset and uptight and angry, the other person lets it go off their back. Another example, the same person, 2 different days. One day they've had an argument or a flat tire, or they're late for work, they get into a traffic jam and they're angry and they're uptight. The next day, they leave with plenty of time, they had a lovely breakfast with their family, they got lots of time to get to work, they have a traffic jam, it doesn't bother them at all. In both cases, it's an example of that the negative emotion does not come from the situation. Is that you are always free to choose the quality of your emotional life. Is that you choose to become angry. Now understand this, nobody makes you feel anything. Nobody makes you feel angry. Nobody makes you feel tense. Nobody makes you feel upset. You always decide how you're going to feel, and then if you're not careful, you will fall into a negative habit pattern of blaming the other person. Blame is the core of all negative emotions. When you stop blaming, you cut down the negative emotion tree. You cut it off, you kill it, and all the negative emotions die simultaneously. Big truth is that you can be, have, and do anything that you want if you want it badly enough and are willing to make the effort. That anything that you can hold in your mind on a continuing basis, you can be, have, or do. You will become what you think about. Your only job is to make a very, very clear decision about the person you want to be, the things that you want to have, the goals that you want to accomplish, and then make sure that you feed your mind continuously, day by day, week by week, hour by hour, with words, pictures, images, ideas, thoughts, and information consistent with your goals and your ideals. Keep your mind on what you want, keep it off of what you don't want, and everything is possible for you.
Keep your mind on what you want and desire, and anything is possible for you. Take action now. Every second counts. Like save and comment for more.
Your thoughts can create your reality. We know that this is 100% absolutely true. Your thoughts create your physical reality. Feeling now as if you are actually in attainment of it, with a burning desire, a need to have it, which is contracted energy, and that will go out into the physical universe. And that frequency, when it gets put out, affects matter in the physical universe and affects other people's brains. It's actually picked up by other people and can influence very strongly other people's thoughts and feelings and actions. There's a reason why government in America, the government in America, and governments around the world are trying to get people illiterate again, unable to read and write. There's a reason, because they know that reading and writing actually stimulates the hippocampus.
Remember this, is that people are time wasters, and the great majority of people have no goals, they have no priorities, they have no plans, they have no concern about becoming successful, and they think that you are the same. They think because their time isn't worth anything, that your time isn't worth anything also. So be very alert to that.
You see, everything operates on frequencies. There's an infinite number of frequencies. You and I operate on a frequency just like a radio station does. And the only music you can attract is the music that is tuned into the vibration you're in. Now, it's the paradigm that has been controlling the vibration. You can change your thinking, but that doesn't do anything. You got to change the paradigm. And if you don't change the paradigm, nothing happens. People that are in a poverty consciousness will continue to attract lack and limitation. It has nothing to do with this, what's going on here. This is your educated mind, and you could gather all kinds of information. Have you ever wondered why some people have such an educated mind? They have degrees coming right off the end of their business card, but it doesn't show up in their results. Why? Paradigm. The law of attraction. You've got to change this. You've got to change the vibration you're in, and your whole world changes.
What you think produces energy in the universe that, if you think it often enough and long enough, will actually produce a physical result in your life. Our second level of creation is our words. Your word is really a form of energy. You're actually producing energy in the room with what you say. And that energy is creative. You say something often enough, loudly enough, and I promise you it will come to pass. If two or more start saying the same thing, I assure you it will come to pass. And when a whole group of people start saying the same thing, it cannot help but come to pass. This is called group consciousness, and it's, by the way, why the world is the way it is. Because our collective consciousness has not allowed itself to be raised to the level of the individual consciousnesses of many of us. When you begin to say what you're thinking and do what you're saying, and you start to create from all three centers of creation, and suddenly you begin to manifest and produce extraordinary results in your life in a very short period of time.
Here are 3 words that you can use to change your attitude and your approach to any difficulty you face. First of all, change the word problem to the word situation. Whereas problem is a negative word that triggers feelings of fear and anxiety, situation is a neutral word. So instead of saying we have a problem, you can say we have a situation. My personal preference is to change the word problem to the word challenge. Whenever something goes wrong, immediately say, well, we have an interesting challenge facing us today. You see, challenge is a positive word. When you think of a challenge, you think of something that you rise to, something that brings out the best in you and others. Perhaps the best word of all is opportunity. Instead of saying we have a problem, you can say we have an unexpected opportunity. Napoleon Hill was famous for saying, every problem or difficulty you face contains the seed of an equal or greater advantage or benefit. Your job is to find the benefit. Look for the good in every situation, and this way of approaching a problem is determined by your attitude. Success lies on the far side of failure. And the way that you succeed and fail and succeed is learn from every experience. Look for the good. Call it a situation, a challenge, or an opportunity to keep your mind positive and creative as you work your way through it.
Your willingness to forgive others and to let go past grievances is the single most important determinant of whether or not you are a fully integrated, fully functioning adult human being. Because the tendency to blame and to hold grudges is a childlike, pathological tendency that is possessed by all people who are mentally ill. Now, you accept that as true. There's 4 people that you have to forgive. Number 1 is forgive your parents. Forgive your parents for everything that they've ever done that hurt you. Most of our research shows that almost all of our adult problems trace back to being unwilling or unable to forgive our parents for something that they did that hurt us. Forgive them 100%. Write to them, telephone them, tell them, or at the very least, forgive them in your heart, but forgive your parents. Number 2 is forgive others. Forgive everyone else. Forgive everyone who has ever hurt you in any way for anything. Just let it go. Now some people say, well, I can't forgive that person because what a terrible thing they did to me. Remember this, that forgiveness is perfectly selfish. Forgiveness has nothing whatever to do with the other person. It has only to do with your peace of mind and with your assuring your own mental integrity. Number 3, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for every wicked, senseless, brainless, foolish, stupid thing you ever did. Because every single person has done wicked, senseless, brainless, foolish, ridiculous things. But forgive yourself 100%. And finally, the last.
Estoy aquí con Brian Tracy. Le vamos a hacer un par de preguntas. Brian, so what do you wish more young people would ask you about success?
Well, the basics of success are basically 3. Number 1 is to accept responsibility for your life and say the magic words, I am responsible, which wipes out all negative emotions and puts you in charge of your life. Number 2 is to take a piece of paper and write down your goals, and then pick your most important goal and work on it every day. And number 3 is to dedicate your life to continuous learning and self-development, because the better you get on the inside, the more wonderful your life will be on the outside.
Amazing. Thank you, Brian. And then one more thing is, what is the biggest lie that you hear about success?
Well, they say that people who earn a lot of money are bad and they should be taxed and punished. But the fact is, you can only earn money in our society by helping other people, by serving other people, by improving the lives and work of other people. So if you want to be successful, you must be in the improvement business, the service business, and you must ask this magic question, how can I improve the quality of my services to my customers today? And then constantly become better at serving others.
Yay, that's awesome. Oh, look, Christina just texted. Oh. She's my friend. His daughter just texted. You heard it from Brian Tracy. Bye.